Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got a really good video today. I'm very excited. If any of you have watched my videos before, you'll know that I'm looking for a church to buy so I can live in it. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride up and down. But I've just, by luck, stumbled across this church that's actually for sale. And it's in my ideal location. So I am ecstatic at the minute. Now, I've been doing YouTube for just 2 months now, and I've done 55 videos. And I've just done a video yesterday explaining that I'm going to start to slow down with the production of them and make better quality ones, quality rather than quantity. But I just wanted to get this one out straight away. So this isn't going to be probably the best video in the world either, but that doesn't really matter. I haven't got many people watching me still, which is a bit disappointing. So hopefully you'll stumble across this video and it might excite you enough to press subscribe and go with me on this journey of buying a church. Now, as I said, I didn't even know this church existed, and I definitely didn't know it's for sale. I came out on, I think it was Tuesday, to do a little tour around the Llandudno area in near the Brecon Beacons in South Wales, and I've been to a few churches that day, some lovely ones, and this was the last one on my way home that I came across. And when I saw that sign for sale, I suddenly got like, oh my god, is this the one? So when I started filming the church, I didn't know anything about it, so I've just like randomly going round. And it was only when I got home and I started to do my research, as I always do, I sort of discovered how much history there is. And I can't believe these churches are for sale, because how can we lose all this history? And what's the alternative? Who would buy this church? Who's taken over this country at the minute? I can't let that happen. So I feel so drawn to this one. My only issue is, because I'm not quite ready yet, to be honest, to buy a church. Ideally it would be next spring. So I'm hoping, because everything the Church of Wales does is very slow, I'm hoping this time they're going to be slow too. Because even though it says for sale, I rang the company straight up, and they said they were nearly ready to put it on, and there's been a few hold ups, which is brilliant for me. And again, it goes back to the Church of Wales, and I understand why, because there's a lot of problems trying to sell these churches, of like who looks after what's actually your responsibility, and etc. etc. So I'm hoping that they'll take their time, and it buys me time to be ready to buy it. So this video today will be really quick, and I'm just again trying to get you to please subscribe, because we're going to go on a good journey now. Even if this church doesn't work out for me, it's going to be a real learning curve for me, because it's just cemented in my mind. I know I'm destined to buy a church. And the bigger picture is, I would estimate it would take me probably 5 years to be able to live inside it, because when you buy the churches, you've actually got to buy it with no promises. You've then got to do your own work to try and be allowed to live in them, and make them you know livable, because this is a grade 2 listed building, and they do make it very difficult. Now, I've already found out that there is electric in the church, but there's nothing else. There's no water, there's no drainage, definitely no gas or nothing. So this is probably why you can pick these churches up fairly cheap. You'd think these would cost hundreds of thousands, but they don't. But this is because it's not just an easy, oh, I'll buy that and live in it. Owning a church is for passion, really, because it could be a money pit, especially if you had to get builders in. Now, I'm not really lucky, because it's my destiny, but since I've been a working age man, I've been in the building trade, and I've done some like really amazing work at different some famous people's houses, like George Michael's house, and I've had my own business for 20 years, and I was a landscaper for about 15 of those, and I specialised in using reclaimed materials, and doing pretty fancy stuff, really. And for the past 5 years, I've been installing log burners, so I've got a lot of skill that I can put into this church, and I've got actually a lot of time as well. because I've got a good job. You know, I can afford to spend a lot of time here. So I feel like I'm destined and I'm ready. I'm at the right age, and I'm very, as you might be able to tell, I'm very excited. So my next step is to get in contact with the Church of Wales and try and get inside the church, which I've done before in a different church in Penderyn. You can go and watch that video if you like. Um, so yeah, I want to get in there and have a good look around, because online you can't really find anything about this church, like for the inside. I've already found out that there's a rich history here, and I'm just going under here a yew tree. There's actually 10 yew trees on this church site. It's just for me it's perfect. You know, everything here is ticking the right, you know, the boxes. So yeah, I need to get in contact with them, and then I'll get inside, and then I'll be taking lots of video of that. And then I've just got my drone has arrived today, so I need to learn how to set it up and use that so I can do some drone footages. So I'm planning to come back here pretty soon, and then I'll be doing like regular videos of this site, and I'll talk about the history of it as I find out more stuff. But again, there's not too much on the internet. Um, Probably because, you know, this is what the nature of the beast, because these churches have been in decline for like decades now, and obviously the internet's not been around that long. So, you know, I'd like to find an old book about this church. That's really what I want to find. And you know, my big goal is whatever church I end up, I will make a book about it. I will document every gravestone on the site, and there will be a massive book made, and it will stay in history forever. And that's my goal. So I'll wrap this video up for now. So again, please like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got any advice or anything like that. And if you can share the video, that would really help too. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.